Hey everybody, I'm out here at Fowler's Home on the Range in Hershey, Michigan. Got a brand new Sig P365. We're going to do the first few rounds and give you some thoughts on what this little gun is capable of. For a small gun, recoil is not bad at all. That was one of the concerns that people had on a gun this small. 10 plus 1 capacity out of the factory on a gun this small. When you're looking at a Glock or 43 or a a Smith & Wesson Shield, you're looking at 6 plus 1 capacity, 7 plus 1 if you use an extension. This right from the factory gives you 10 plus 1. Recoil's not half bad. Let's take a look at the target. So here's my first 10 shots. Wasn't really taking my time, just lining up and pulling the trigger. We were at a distance of 7 yards, and obviously a little bit of trigger work for pulling the shots left, but that's just a tendency that I have with any gun, is pulling shots left. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with this little gun, the Sig P365. I got Dave Fowler, the owner of Fowler's Home on the Range. He's got the new P365 in his hand, and he's going to take a few shots with it and give us his impression of the new gun.
First of all, I really like the ergonomics, the way it fits in my hand. Being 10 plus 1, it does fill the hand up just a little bit better. I really like that. I'm told that they're going to be coming out with an extended magazine giving you 12 plus 1. I'm not sure that's necessary. This fits pretty well. So let's give it a whirl. Really very controllable for a small gun. I'm impressed. That's pretty comfortable to shoot. I like it.
Let's take a look at how Dave did. Oh, Dave went for headshots. And again, a good solid group from a small gun at 7 yards. Certainly putting shots on target. Got Jamie Belcher. He's an employee out here at Fowler's Home on the Range. He's a SIG guy. Shoots a P320 compact and a subcompact. And Jamie, what are your thoughts on the P365?
Well, I've been waiting on this gun for over a year, ever since I first heard scuttlebutt that they were going to do a single stack striker fired, even though it's not a true single stack. But it's like a little miniature 320, even though it's not quite the same. It's not modular quite like 320, but it feels good in the hand for a little gun. I can get 3.5 fingers on it without the pinky extension, so that's a plus. So it's ultra concealable. Kind of anxious to shoot it and see what the recoil impulse is like. That is pretty amazing. I mean, that sights track right back on target. You do your job, it'll do its job. Very low recoil impulse, not snappy, not muzzle flip, just back and forward. I think I'm going to have one of these.
What did you think of the trigger?
Great trigger. Resets really good. I think we pulled it up there at 6.5. I think that'll get even lighter the more you shoot it, but smooth take up and breaks real clean, just like pretty much a 320. It's like a really good 320 trigger.
Dave, what was your impression on the trigger?
I agree. It's got a real positive reset, which I shoot a gun with a different trigger in it, and it doesn't have that positive reset. I think that's going to allow this gun to be shot really fast, real rapidly. And as Jamie pointed out, I noticed real quick that after the recoil, I was still on target, which is really impressive for a little gun like that.
Let's take a look at how Jamie shot.
A little bit low and left.
A little bit low and left, a little bit tighter on most of the shots, but still very controllable for such a little gun. Let's take it at some distance now. All right, we've moved back now at 15 yards, and Jamie's going to give it another go. See what it can do with a little bit more distance.
Take my time this time.
All right, let's check out the shots. All right, walking up here on target. Still a nice group. Little bit right and
compensated.
few bit high. Jamie says he compensated a little bit, knowing he was shooting low left. But a darn fine group at 15 yards.
Yeah, I only put one out.
All right, let's see how Dave and I do with this. All right, Dave is now going to take some shots at 15 yards.
Slow things down a little bit here. Oh, there's a flinch for you. Great.
So we did have a failure to lock back the slide, but Dave's group at 15 yards, again a nice solid group.
Despite the flinch.
Despite the flinch and the all in the zero range on the IDPA target. For a little gun in that kind of group, first time shooting it, you can't complain about that at all.
I like that gun.
All right, let's see how I do at 15 yards. Man, very controllable, extremely controllable. All right, we're coming up on my group. Low left, which again, I'm used to shooting left, but I'm not going to complain about that group at all at 15 yards. All right, we're now back at 25 yards. So earlier today when I brought the gun in, Jamie was looking it over, feeling it in his hand, seeing what it felt like, and his comment was it would make a great backup gun. And my comment to him was with 10+1, this is probably going to become my primary carry gun. And for Jamie, his reaction was, well, we have to see what it does at 25 yards first. So Jamie, let's see how it does if you're going to do this, use this as a primary carry. All right, let's go take a look at the target. All right, we're coming up here on the target, and
Head one.
Jamie, I got one here, one there, and one up here. Now, in all true evidence of this, the camera wasn't rolling, unfortunately. I forgot to hit record. But where Dave's pointing right now, those were Jamie's first 3 shots at 25 yards, which, you know, all of them are on target. You can't complain at all about a 25-yard shot and that small of a gun. But that first group was really impressive. Second group certainly would get the job done too. All right, here's Dave at 25 yards with the Sig P365.
And it's cold out here, folks. It's really cold out here. Excuses are starting.
All right, let's go check out the target. While we're coming up, Jamie, I made the comment that for you to carry this full time, you'd have to see the distance shooting with it. After that performance, what do you think of the 365 for everyday carry?
I think it'd be a great carry gun. Just like with any gun, but more so with a small gun, you got to do some training with it, and that's where I would have to do my part to get that tighter group at 20. But I think it's very doable. I know that the gun will do it if I do my part.
All right, Dave's shots. There's 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
All solid body shots. All right, so the gun can definitely perform at 25 yards in distance. Here's my opportunity at 25 yards. All right, let's go see how it did. All right, coming up on the target, here's my 3 shots. All of them low on the body. Still decent hits, but definitely not ultra lethal hits. As you can tell from when I shot it, I wasn't slow. I was rushing through the shots a little bit. It is cold out here, not that that's an excuse, but it was 3 solid hits on target though at 25 yards.
So we had to do to get 10 in this one.
So Dave was carrying out here a Ruger LC9, and you can see quite the grip extension on there to get to 10+1 with his gun here. Let's put them back to back, and we can kind of see the difference there. So quite a bit different. But one of the things that Jamie commented on was that he carries a P320 subcompact, and you can see here the difference in size between the 365 and the 320 subcompact. And Jamie's comment was that the 365 being 10+1, the subcompact being 12+1, you're only giving up 2 rounds for a considerable size difference in carrying.
The thickness of the 320 is considerably more also. Yeah. That's a real telltale right there. For concealability, that little 365 is incredible.
And then the thing that always gives you away if you're trying to conceal carry is the butt of the gun sticking out. So that's the difference right there. As far as concealability, that's normally what sticks out. Even though with this gun it really doesn't stick out much because it's still small, but that's even better yet.
And if you put that 12+1 extension or that 12 round mag in there, it's probably not even still going to come up as high as that subcompact is. We won't know yet until we get a 12 round magazine to check it out.
Overall, I believe that's probably one of the finest subcompacts I've ever played with is that 365. That's really dandy.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we had an opportunity to take our first shots with the Sig P365. Go around here. What was your first impression, Dave?
I find absolutely nothing so far that I don't like about that gun. The ergonomics are wonderful. The accuracy is as good as I am. Be that what it may, it's as good as I am. There's just not a lot more that I would ask for in a small gun or in a large gun, but I like it.
Jamie?
Well, I don't know what you can knock on it. It's accurate. I don't know how many rounds we ended up putting through it. 60, 70. No malfunctions. The slide didn't lock back on one. That could be the user riding the slide lock. That happens. The sights are good on it. The trigger's good on it. There's not much to complain about. It's going to be a great concealed carry gun, and if I was Smith & Wesson and Glock, I'd be looking out for the Shield and the 43.
All right, we're going around the circle. Roger, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is I'm going to put a lot more rounds through this gun to get comfortable with it, and also just to make sure that the reliability's there. Buy some of my defense ammo. Get a few hundred rounds of the defense ammo through it. Make sure there's no malfunctions. But everything I just saw, first time shooting it, that's going to probably become my primary carry gun, and I look forward to reporting back and letting you know how it does.